Hello. We'll edit that out. No, edit that out. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shay with Amos. I'm your host, Jacob Gorgie, and you're probably wondering, why does the show look so weird today? Oh, it's a little close, sorry. That's because we are filming a bit of a preface. So the episode tonight is our season finale. We're done with season 1, which I'm really excited for, as I'm sure you guys are. But we have been gone for a while, haven't we? We haven't posted anything for like 4 months. So yeah, 4 or 3 months, something like that. And there are some people who are confused, thinking that the show was done. It's not done. We just had some weird production issues. So basically, story time. We filmed Taunt episode, and it went really well. Then November comes around, and I was thinking, okay, we can get a guest before Thanksgiving. Except all the guests that I was thinking were all out of town. All of them. They were like not going to be here. So I was like, fine. We'll take a break, and then we'll film a Christmas special. Great. So we planned this Christmas special out. I meet with the guests. It's all great. And we were going to film between we were going to release the episode between American Christmas and Coptic Christmas. That was the plan. Then, Then, as we were getting ready to film and stuff, the Omicron variant happened. And I swear, it was like COVID's revenge on everyone who didn't get sick, because everyone got it. I was exposed to it. We had crew that were exposed. I think even our guest was exposed at one point. So because of that, we had to delay shooting even further. And we didn't end up shooting anything or filming anything until, 2 or 3 weeks after. But that's okay, I said. We'll just release it late and just call it the latest Christmas special ever. That was actually the plan. Then we went to go edit the video. Now, DaVinci Resolve is the editing software we use, and it's made by Blackmagic. Now, if you're into cameras and stuff, Blackmagic is like the Ferrari of cameras. They make some really cool stuff. Okay. But basically, they released some weird patch update for something, and it just didn't want to work. The editing computer we usually use didn't want to work. A laptop didn't want to work. Another laptop didn't want to work. My own personal computer didn't want to work. And we didn't get anything to work until we did a hardware upgrade on the editing computer. I had to actually go out and buy, hardware upgrades for the thing so it could just process and work. And by the time we got something edited and done, it was February. So me and the guys kind of talked, and we agreed that save this video for next year just because it's way too late. Which is, it's fine. It's all good. So that episode you guys will see eventually. But in the meantime, though, enjoy today's episode. I believe it's Taunt with Mary Abutar. I'm really excited for it. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Otherwise, though, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shay with Amos. We're back. We've been gone for a while, but we're back. And I'm really happy to be back. Joining me today for our season finale is Taunt Mary Abutar. How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Thank you. So, let's start from the beginning. When did you guys come from Egypt to Chicago, and what was that journey like?
Well, before coming to Chicago, we went to Montreal in 1966, and then where we stayed 3 years, and then we came to Chicago in 1969. When we came here, really, the congregation was so small. It was 15 families. Half of them were bachelors.
Oh.
We were we were meeting at the IIT for a Bible study. And then we were able to gather at a church in downtown. I know the street name is Kenmore, downtown, where when we were praying, we were gathered to read the Bible. We didn't have too many children. The oldest one will be 6 or 7 years. So I will gather them, say a story of a saint and some coloring, And then Father Marcos will be coming from Toronto once a month to celebrate the liturgy on a Saturday. And of course, it was a feast for us to have a liturgy at this time. Father Bishop Samuel, in his pastoral visit, came to visit us, and he asked me to take care of Sunday school. But like as I said, we didn't have too many children, so it was really not too much. We were blessed by the coming of Dr. Atif Muawad and his wife Feriel, who became really a good friend of mine. And then we were blessed by the arrival of Father Marcos Shay, who was appointed by the Pope Shenouda, and we had the liturgy every week. And again, they will have the liturgy. We will have the kids with Sunday school. Not really Sunday school. Like we didn't have too many children. We, as the congregation grew, we thought that we need to go somewhere else where we can worship, especially after Father Marcos Bichet was appointed by Pope Shenouda to come to serve here in Chicago. Having a priest really encouraged us to seek a permanent place. So we started there with Abuna Marcos Bichet in Kenmore, and then we found a church where we can pray every week on Saturdays. And again, we were having some children here and there to teach, 2 classes at most. As the congregation grew, and having a priest with us that encouraged us to seek somewhere else, to find somewhere where we can worship God on Sunday. So we bought a church in Oak Park. No, sorry. We bought a church in Roselle.
Yes, Roselle.
In Roselle, yeah. We bought a church in Roselle, and my husband, Fayet, altered the place, the church, so we can have the altar in the east. And he finished the basement so we can have many schools, many Sunday schools. The children, the community grew.
Yeah.
And we had in Roselle, maybe we had 4 classes. I don't recall more than that. 4 rooms for 4 It doesn't mean that we had every age in one class. No, we had 2 ages in one class. So this is, and then I recall that Pope Shenouda came in 1977 for a visit. So we were happy to have him. By then the congregations have multiplied. Really.
Yeah.
We grew. And the youth wanted more activities. They weren't children anymore, they were teenagers.
Yeah.
So we're taking them to bowling and picnicking, and the most noticeable thing was the 3-day camp.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, so we started with 3 small tents. And we were adding tents every year. The congregation grew and the activity grew, and honestly, we had lots of fun. Children and adults, we were having fun.
Is that where I've been on one of these, so
You did?
yeah. So, but last time I was at a 3-day camp, I lost a lot of stuff, but it was like a phone, so it was bad.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of traditions that go on, because this still goes on to this day.
Yes.
So is this?
Yes.
So is this where they came up with the grilling, the way that how they grill,
Yes.
like the little cinder blocks of the coal and stuff? No.
No.
Never mind.
So
All right.
So we were, I mean, after when we expanded in the tents, lots of people were going by buses, and some of the people were coming by their van, like my husband.
Oh, yeah.
So he will sleep in the van. He will not sleep in the tent. But before that, he will sleep in the tent. Some of us, some of the ladies and the gentlemen, were assigned to prepare the food, and some of us were teaching the kids and run around with them in the campsite.
Yeah.
So we started the day by a prayer, and then breakfast, and then each group will go to the assigned place with their teacher. After the lesson, we'll gather around the table for lunch, and then it was free time. So they will go boating, like they were like have a small lake. They were in a small, and then volleyball and I don't know what.
Pool, right?
Lots of activities, and we were running after them. We would be with them. We wouldn't leave them alone. Then to dinner time, we'll gather around the table, and then after dinner, the younger one will go to the tent to sleep by 8 o'clock, and the older one will gather around the campfire where we're singing songs and we'll roasting marshmallow.
Oh.
It was really, really a good time for everybody.
Yeah.
I recall that the men were supposed to barbecue the chicken.
Oh no.
Yeah. 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 So we were, gathering around the campfire, and we were singing religious songs and marshmallow, barbecuing the marshmallow and eating them. And then by, 10, 11 o'clock, they will be asked to go to their tent to sleep. Believe me, we were sleeping with them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So originally then it was one camp.
It was one camp, yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
'Cause it's two now. It's two
Yes,
separate
it
for the
is.
elementary,
Yeah,
now
like
for the
I
older.
said, we grew. I mean, the congregation multiplied.
Yeah.
Later on, the youth grew up, and we felt they need to know other Coptic children around us. So Dr. Atif Mawad contacted Father Raphael from Detroit and Father Michael from Cleveland, and we started the Midwest Convention. Yeah. There in the convention, Bishop Antonius Moros and later on Bishop Musa will come to see us and stay with the servants, like teach them or say a word,
Yeah.
In the camp, in this place, the youth were separated by age, and after being taught a lesson, they will go to a workshop where they will discuss the topic of whatever they were taught, and then they will come back and discuss it with their teacher. Then, of course, was lunch and then free time, and it was really, really a joyful time for everybody, including us.
Yeah.
Including us. I cannot say that we didn't enjoy it. We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
By then, we started seeking a bigger church, because we grew. And we had a real estate person among us, Mrs. Venisa Ataya, who found a 5-acre land in Burridge, and everybody agreed about it. And Father Marcos Bichet signed the contract of purchase while having a heart attack and on his way to the hospital where he passed away. Yeah. Father Shenouda and Babishoy was assigned by the Pope to come to serve St. Mark in Chicago. The land was ours, so my husband, Faye Abutar, is an architect and a builder. So he volunteered his time to design the church and to build it. He spent a lot of time studying the layout of Coptic church. Remember that we left Egypt for a long time. And after submitting the design to the board and to Abuna Shenouda, and they agreed about it, the construction began. The designing of the building and building the building was accomplished in a very short time, really in a record time. Pope Shenouda consecrated the church in 2001. He supervised the building of St. Mary Church.
Mm.
He will go daily to the site to oversee and the progress of the building.
Mm.
So that's all what he contributed
Yeah.
to St. Mary.
Just to be clear, in case you're not viewing Chicago, so St. Mark's Church was the first one
The first one in Chicago.
And then in the late 90s, if I'm not mistaken.
Honestly, I cannot tell you.
Okay.
I don't
I
know
think
the date.
I'm pretty sure because I think my parents were around too when that was going on. Late 90s, I think, is when St. Mary. So this is like just to explain the time frame and stuff, just in case people are wondering.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
talking about my husband, you asked me to talk
Yeah.
about. Faye was a man of few words, really.
Mm.
He comes from a family of priests, so generation of priests.
Yeah.
He loved the church very much. He was a man of integrity. He was a man of prayers, and he was a humble person who worked in silence. Not too much to talk. He was, he was responsible for all the repairs and maintenance of the church till almost he passed away. I mean, a few years before he passed away, he stopped because he couldn't come to the church. He was assigned to supervise Sunday school. He held this post for many years.
Yeah.
He was also a board member for 26 years or more.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he was there for eternity.
Yeah, and it's interesting because in these interviews, his name's been mentioned. His name has been mentioned so much.
Yes.
You know, and it's always been because he passed away unfortunately in 2015.
Correct.
So it's been a couple years, but I even think the building we're in now was also his work, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
Oh,
No,
never mind,
no.
I'm mistaken.
His son.
His
son, Daniel. Yeah, he helped in the new building in the Resurrection Church. No, my husband, like they will bring the blueprint, or it wasn't blueprint, it was the computer. They will bring it to our house and they will take his advice. He will give his point of view in the design first of all. And he will pick up the design, and he helped, but not actually coming here. He came just to look, but he didn't participate. It wasn't, no. It was Danny, my son, who, along with Refat and Dr. Botros, who did the Resurrection Church.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and tell us, if you don't mind, just kind of going into Uncle Faye a little more, just because, like I said, this name's been mentioned so many times. What was he like beyond like designing churches and stuff?
Well,
Like,
he was a builder. He was a builder. So he built too many churches, some for Egyptian and some for non-Egyptian. Yeah, he built lots of houses.
So within like the community, I mean, because he was there from the start, right? Like,
yes, he was like I said, from 1969. Yeah.
So this leads me on to a very important. At the end of these interviews, I always like to say an outlook question. And my question for you, as the events talked about in this episode and in all the previous episodes before become history, what lessons do you hope are taken away from that history from the people looking back on it?
Looking back, I think by the grace of God, we accomplished a lot. We were a very small congregation, and we grew to a humongous one. We were able to build and pay the loan of the church in 3 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Even though we weren't a big congregation like now, we were smaller than that, just to fit St. Mark.
Yeah.
And we were able to pay the loan in 3 years. So that was really an accomplishment. I might add that St. Mark, the Church of St. Mark sprouted many churches. Many churches, we helped so many churches to come now. Like St. Mary, this is the third church that I know after St. Mark, and then St. George, and St. Mary of Milwaukee, and Saint Mina and Populolos of Champagne, and now the Resurrection Church. This is all sprouted from Saint Mark Church. We were the origin.
Yeah.
I might say, I would like to say that we translated the first book for the Holy Week. It was a humongous book. It was so thick. We did it all here, all in the church, we like translating it, typing it, printing it, and collecting it.
Yeah.
In that job, I remember it was a servant by the name of Nadia Amin who helped. She passed away. And Feriel, Maawad, and me. So some people came to collect the papers together and to make it a book, but it was really, the core was the three of us. So to write it, to print it, and to collect it. We translated so many Christian spiritual songs. And that's due to a very talented lady, Mary Basali, who translates like this. She knows how to translate. Lots of songs have been translated. Lots of songs have been passed around all the churches by Abuna Tadros. He will go to New York and to New Jersey, and he will give them the songs, Also, I would like to say that perseverance and faith in God that sustained us through good and difficult time, and the wonderful leadership of Abuna, of Father Samuel, helped Saint Mark to grow and flourish. Honest, Abuna Samuel did a great job. We are blessed to have Father Samuel and Father Pavlos and Father Theodore to lead, serve, and guide our congregation. I pray and hope that the next generation will continue to spread the word of God in our society for generations to come.
So you guys hear that, right? So make sure we do that.
That's it.
Yeah, I agree with you. Well, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming. But before I end tonight's show, I got an announcement to make, as well as some things to give. So first off, the announcement. So as you guys know, this is the season finale. We've had an awesome season, awesome time filming all these episodes. But it is no secret that this has been probably one of the most experimental seasons in history. From the different camera setups, from our audio setup to even, I think rooms changed. No, rooms didn't change, but we changed some things around. And don't get me started on the lighting, please. don't get me started. But all of this was out of experiment. We are learning as we move forward. And now that we're kind of done with the first season, we want your feedback. So, linked down below in this video, as well as linked in our official Instagram page, which is, at this point, still going to be smcc.official. If we do end up changing the name, which is it St. Maximus now? Okay, no, never mind. It's going to be SMCC official for now. We got a new name, though, but we'll reveal it next season. Anyways, in this survey, there's going to be a couple of questions, and it's very simple questions. The first question will be, what do you like about the show? And these could just be in bullet points. I like this, this, and this, okay? The second question will then be, what didn't you like about the show? Be as harsh as possible if you want, okay? I won't take offense. James might, but I won't. Don't worry. And then the final question will be, what do you want to see from the show? And then there's a fourth bonus question that you don't need to answer, but it was insisted by everyone who was involved with this to put that question in there. So I put the question in there, and you guys can find out what that question is when you do the survey. But it's a great way for you guys to help us kind of gauge what you guys like, what you don't like, as well in the future when we start doing more serious equipment shopping, which is what we're going to be doing here shortly. So please fill out that survey. It will be linked down below in the description below, as well as on our Instagram page. That being said, though, I have some thanks to give. First off, I would like to thank God, because seriously, and I mean this with all sincerity, because the viewership we've been getting on these episodes is beyond belief. The first episode, when I started this show, I thought the first episode was going to get like 50 views at most.
No, you got more.
I know, we really did. I think as of recording, the first episode has 803 views. That's a lot. That's a lot of view, and it's not just 800 people in Chicago viewing it. It's everywhere, and it is ridiculous for me. So I want to thank God and thank the viewers, because it is by the grace of God this is even working, to be honest. Like, seriously, because without God or the viewers, this show wouldn't be, I mean, it would still exist, but it's just one of those things where, like, it makes me feel good to know that there's people who are interested in this and are actively watching it. So thank you guys for doing that. I would also like to take a second to thank all of the guests we've had. I'll be honest with you. I'm a really bad host. I don't know when to stop talking, all right? It's the guests that make the show really good. From the first guest to Taunt Mary, and to all those in between, whose episodes maybe didn't make it out, or who has helped us find guests. Thank you so much. This is what makes this show possible, and it's what's going to make it possible moving forward. And I would also like to thank all of our production crew, not just the ones that are here, so James and Jonathan, but I'd also like to thank all the people that's been managing our social media, as well as all of our production people. They've made this process a lot easier. And has made the show a lot easier to post and manage. So thank you guys so much for all the help. With that being said, though, and thank you to all the music people as well. We got a lot of music from a lot of people, so thank you for that. With that being said, though, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you again, Taunt Mary, for coming on to the show.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thank you. That's all I have for tonight, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and good night. Did you do the credits?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need the